And let's go ahead and jump into the final question of the day. And the final question comes from a reoccurring guest, Miss Iris Peoples. Nice to have you back on the show. And she writes an interesting question that I didn't even know until I had to research it. She wrote me, "Hey guys, it's being rumored that Bernie Mac biopic is in the works, and Bernie Mac's daughter would like Eldris Hodge, I think that I pronounced that right, to play her father. Would you guys like to see a Bernie Mac biopic?" Um, you know, Bernie Mac is one of my favorite comedians. Thank you for your question, Iris. It's one of my favorite comedians. I remember when he passed, I was like maybe, I want to say like 11 or maybe 12 years old, somewhere around there. And
Jeez, I'm showing my age.
it was a long, he was, I mean, he was set up, in my opinion, to be that dude. And when I researched it, there's a website called Shadow and Act. They're actually a really good website. They promote a lot of black films and things of that nature. They're reporting that they reached out to the family of of the Max, and his daughter said that she would love for that particular actor to portray her father. And I believe either not Ryan Coogler, but the guy who directed Equalizer. I cannot remember his name.
Antoine Fuqua, maybe?
Yeah, Antoine Fuqua, I believe,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
attached to that project, or rumored to be attached to that project. If I read that incorrectly, just go back to that article and check it out. But anyway, she wanted that particular actor, Eldris Hodge, to portray her father. I think a Bernie Mac biopic would be amazing. I would love to see that because there's a lot of things about Bernie Mac I don't know. There's a lot of stand-up specials that have come out, or specials that have been out on like Def Jam and other things that I have seen online, but I've never seen a full Bernie Mac special. I saw the Kings of Comedy, which was amazing. And when you hear Steve and DL Hughley and Cedric the Entertainer when they talk, they said you don't want to go after Bernie because he would shut the stage down, and it was hard to follow that act. And I loved the Bernie Mac show growing up. I will say the Bernie Mac show is a watered down version of who Bernie Mac is, because I believe it was either my cousin or my aunt. They actually met Bernie Mac, and they came in late into one of his shows. He was like, "Listen, motherfucker, I start on time. If you don't get here on time, I'm gonna ask security to throw y'all out." Everybody's laughing. I wish I had it on tape. But Bernie Mac was that dude. Like, he did not care about anything. He spoke his mind. He's one of those comedians that I love, like Dave Chappelle and TK Kirkland, like those guys. I love that rawness. So if they make a biopic out of him, I think Elders Hodge would be a great candidate, just like any other talented actor. But I want to see like him raw. I think it would be dope in theaters or something like Netflix or something of that nature. But Ian, you're a comedian person. You're a comedian guy. Would you love to see Bernie Mac's biopic realized? And would you like Elders Hodge to be portraying him in this future project?
Yeah, man. Bernie Mac is one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time, and I say that like thinking of like Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls only had like 2 albums, but he's
Mhm.
always looked at like one of the best. That's how I feel about Bernie. He was in the game a long time before he died, but he never had like initial special. He was on the Kings of Comedy tour. He made his debut on Def Comedy Jam, probably one of the best stand-ups on that show. Like,
I ain't
I ain't
scared of
scared of
you,
you, motherfuckers.
motherfuckers.
Yes, that one. Him and Chris Tucker probably had the best sets ever on Def Comedy Jam, and I'll debate anybody on that. If he
Yeah.
was alive today, of course the greats would still be here. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, and all that, and Louis C.K. and stuff like that. And but he would definitely be in the front. Seriously, he was on his way. He was doing movies back to back before he died,
Mhm.
and he would his popularity and his reputation. He was just getting better and funnier and everything.
Mhm.
It just sucks. Such a young age, man. We got to take care of ourselves. And again, like you said, don't know much about the guy. We just know he's very, very funny and he's family orientated and he loves Chicago. That's all we know about him.
Mhm.
So there could be a story there. Now I'm hoping it's I was listening actually to this interview with Arsenio Hall,
Mhm.
and they were asking him, "Hey, when do you think the Arsenio Hall biopic is going to come out?" And Arsenio was like, honestly, it's probably going to be boring. Everybody has this like, oh, my family had drugs and my mom was a prostitute and I got shot at. And it's just always over the top. He's like, hey, man, I just went to school, went to college and became a comedian. It's pretty boring. So I'm not expecting stereotypical black shit in Bernie's shit, but I wouldn't be surprised because he was a man that grew up in the 50s and 60s in America. So, you know, we might see a different side of Bernie Mac to see what fueled that funny, that clowning nature that he had. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, or even if they take it to the point where he mentions it in his actual shows, where he takes in his sister's kids and raises them. That was the basis of the Bernie Mac show. But the Bernie Mac show, I guarantee you, the way he treated those kids in the show is not the same way he probably treated them in real life. Then again, I could be wrong.
I mean, Bernie Mac is an entertainer. What he's, I'm gonna hit you over the head with a hammer. Let's just be real. He didn't do that to kids. So I'm sure the watered down version was what actually was. But obviously, as a stand-up comedian, someone you always got to, you know, get the laugh and raise things up. So I'm pretty sure like there's probably a middle ground between his stand-up and the show.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I would love to see what that middle ground would be. But Jeremy, I know you've seen Bernie Mac growing up. Would you be interested to see a Bernie Mac biopic? And do you think Eldridge Hodge would be a great candidate or any other talented actor?
Aldous Hodge is going to be playing Hawkman in the upcoming Black Adam movie.
It's a good pick.
He's also I recognize him from The Invisible Man. He was the best friend of Kate Moss, Elizabeth Moss, excuse me, in Invisible Man, and he's really good in that.
Yeah, he played MC. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton, and he was on this show called Underground that was really good too.
That's right. I forgot that he was and he's on Black Mirror. So this guy's credits are fantastic. I think he's he would be a good pick. I was trying to look and see who the other dude was. Mark Phillips. I'm not familiar with his filmography, but I'm about to pull him up real quick. But of course, to y'all's point, Bernie Mac is one of the original kings of comedies, one of those like four dudes, like the kings of comedy were to black stand-up what the hell were those guys' names?
Blue Collar Comedy.
The Blue Collar Comedy Tour was to white people. And I've never been more ashamed to be white. Oh, man, that stuff was so whack.
Wow. Let us know in the comments which stand-up special you thought was funnier.
Oh my God. I smell a real debates topic.
No, those incels from those videos are going to come in. Hold the damn minute. You said your shit about Elvis and Jesus. You will not disrespect Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's the debate? The only one of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour guys that was funny was Ron White.
Yes, the guy that was always drinking and shit.
Yeah. He's actually funny and smart and wrote good jokes. The Kings of Comedy, that whole tour was phenomenal. I mean, those guys were all just seriously hilarious. And to be honest with you, I can't put Bernie Mac in my top tier of favorite stand-up acts. To Ian's point, he doesn't really have the body of work as other people does. And I just didn't have the exposure to him growing up. I saw him in that. I think I saw his stand-up, but it's been, years and years and years since I saw his specials. So I feel like there is an interesting story to be told about somebody who dies young and tragically and doesn't get to kind of fulfill their due spot in life. Like Bernie Mac would have went far. His life was tragically cut short before he had a chance to continue. I mean, like he was younger when he died than Eddie Murphy is now, or what? I mean, much younger.
Yeah.
So he could still be out there making movies and doing stand up and all of that stuff. He probably have a podcast right now, I would have to assume.
That would be awesome.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
So I'm all for it. And to y'all's point about I would imagine network television ties your hands in a way that obviously stand up doesn't. So as far as not being able to just talk reel on network television, and then all of them have to be the oafish father of 2 young kids, and then a wife that's slightly more attractive, that like out of their league, but then they're like famous comics. So like it may, like Kevin James on King of Queens.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes
Exactly.
all the way down the list. All of those dudes that have their own shows. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Bernie Mac. Let's see it, dude. Let's see it. I like the idea of Aldous doing it. What's his name?
Aldous Hodge.
Yeah, let's go with Aldous Hodge. I like him.
They got the same eyes. I could see like the facial expressions. It might
Yep.
work.
Yeah, I can. They do. I just
Yep.
now thought about that. Yeah, they do have the same eyes. Like I
Yeah.
can see him yelling and getting angry. Like, what the?
That's important
What
when
you
it comes to
guys
Bernie
do?
Mac. You got to be angry.
Yes,
Yes.
you have to be angry because I think Bernie Mac's best movie performance, in my opinion, is Soul Man. Because all they're doing throughout the whole movie is arguing, and like they're arguing and they're fighting with one another, and it's like Bernie just telling Sam Jackson, "You're just a filthy motherfucker." Like it is like I just love that movie so much. I hate the fact that that was the last movie we saw him in because, like you guys said, I feel like he was set up to be in so many other different things. But to your question, Iris, I would love to see a Bernie Mac movie because I haven't seen all of his work. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty stand-up things that you can find online, but like the Kings of Comedy is all we really have. Like that and then his show. So other than and also the movies that he's been in. So I would love to see what his life was like outside of those things, like from beginning to where we currently are. So that was an amazing question. But what do you guys think? Do you think that you would love to see a Bernie Mac story, or is there a particular comedian or artist that you would love to see in a biopic? I think a DMX biopic, that's probably too soon, but DMX biopic would be dope as
That
well.
would probably have to be a 2-parter. That boy lived like 2 lives.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Yes, he
And they have to
did.
show every sex scene of those 17 kids.
Anita and Tina and Tanya, Shanita.
Man, no, that'll probably be the first thing on. No, I'm not gonna.